Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of August 1st. We're just going to jump right in here, Sag, and we are going to see what is going on for you at this time. And that'll be that. I definitely wouldn't rush into anything this week. You have the Knight of Swords. You know, the Knight of Swords, I don't really consider it to be a bad card, but it can be a card of being hasty, moving too quickly, and or kind of trying to rush to sorry, wrong camera, trying to rush to fix a situation. So let's see what's going on here. You have the Knight of Swords, and like I said, you can see that horse looks very stressed out. It kind of looks like it's stressing and he's stressing it out. So I would be careful of any situations that are pushy. It's definitely popping into my head that you need to be careful of pushy people, pushy situations, people who are trying to push things on you with the Knight of Swords. So I'd be careful of that. It is interesting that when we put him down, he is kind of going back towards the Chariot. The Chariot is a card of victories and success. The one thing that I would rush towards is the Chariot. Chariot is as above, so below. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it's if you're finding yourself off balance, or if you're finding that things aren't going how you want them to, it could just say that you're kind of out of balance as far as your what you're thinking, that the information you're sending to the universe, if you happen to believe in law of attraction, or just your general feelings, right? So those could be some things that if things are off balance, maybe you need to fix those things. You have the Hierophant as your crossing energy. The Hierophant as a crossing energy can just represent needing to think outside the box, needing to come up with different ways of doing things. Pretty much every single sign has had this. You have the chart up over here that you can't see. But in the chart, we have the North Node, Uranus, and Mars on the first will all be at 18 degrees in Taurus. And so what I would say is I would be as flexible as possible. I've said it to every single sign, mostly because of that in the astrology. Next, in the area of your thoughts, you have the Eight of Cups. I feel like you're thinking about walking away from something. I actually don't think that would be a bad idea, because the Eight of Cups, with the Eight of Cups, you're walking towards fulfillment. The Eight of Cups also says be careful of your emotions. I look at the Eight of Cups as getting kind of sucked down in an emotional whirlpool. I consider it to be a good card because you're walking towards fulfillment. But the one warning with the Eight of Cups is it says, do not get sucked down in those thoughts that kind of suck you down. So I would be careful of your thoughts this week, which has definitely come up here several times. Even in the area of your foundation, you have the Magician. The Magician is all about your thoughts and your words. He uses his thoughts and his words to manifest everything that he wants in his life. So I would make sure to use your thoughts and your words. I also, I always pull the card that he is usually pointing to. He would be pointing over here. You can't see it. Doesn't matter. You have this card here, this uncertainty card. I feel like it is a very uncertain time right now, where people are uncertain. They're not sure if they should be moving forward on a path or doing something. Again, I just wouldn't rush with that Knight of Swords. I would, kind of focus on your inner truth. You have the Ace of Swords in the area of your future feelings. And I also think it's a good week to just kind of stick to what works. It's if you have something right now that's working, like a business or a job, it's maybe you want to change, and that's great, and that's fine, and I'm not saying that you can't change, but for just right now, it might be a good time to just kind of look at your business and say, well, it's kind of supporting me for right now. So for right now, I'm just going to use it for the support, right? And then maybe next week or over the next few weeks, you could come up with some other ideas. But this week, with that tight conjunction, they are all conjunct right now. North Node, Uranus, and Mars. And I would just say, I would make sure that you kind of, just try to be as flexible as you possibly can. In the area of the past, you have the Chariot. The Chariot is feeling like you're winning. I feel a lot of people are kind of coming off of this feeling here, feeling like they're winning. And might be a little uncomfortable, but at the same time, I feel like we can easily get back to this feeling of feeling like you're winning, feeling like things are going in the right direction, feeling like you can take control as well. The Chariot reminds us that where there's a will, there's a way. And so if we feel like we want to do something, if we believe it and we take control of it, then we will be successful. In the area of your near future, you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is a card of conflict and competition. I actually like the Five of Wands. To me, these people they're learning how to fight. They're not using swords. they're using sticks. So it's like they're not really fighting, they're training. It's also a card I call Indiana Jones because to me it can represent going on some sort of crazy adventure to find your rewards, to find some treasure in your life, whatever that treasure might be for you. So I kind of feel that I wouldn't say you're moving towards obstacles, but maybe there are some challenges that could lead to something much better in your life. It's like if you want love, maybe instead of, I don't know, using Tinder, going out in public and meeting a person, maybe it's a little bit scary, but it's like that could also be the thing that brings true love into your life. Same thing in business. In business, I feel like you need to go bigger, by the way. Like it's popping into my head right now. If you have clients or you do client work, I feel like this Five of Wands is saying, no, the reason you might feel stuck is because you keep going for the same level. I feel like the universe is like saying it's time for you to go to the next level. It's time for you to go towards like a bigger type of client or someone who maybe you feel like you can't service, even though you can. I feel like it's maybe just a little bit of a stretch, right? And I feel like you need to realize that all you're doing is adding a zero to the end of your price. And I don't know, someone needs to hear that. It's popping into my head. And that's what I get there. In the area of the next few months, you have the Hermit, a lot of learning. I feel like I actually kind of like this. I feel like you are going to be learning a lot over the next few months, probably between now and the end of the year. I know that's more than a few, but I feel like you're going to be learning a lot between now and the end of the year, and you're getting ready to pop out into like 2023. That doesn't mean there won't be improvements right now. I just feel you're doing a lot of learning with this Hermit card. I feel like you're gaining a lot of wisdom. Everything about him represents wisdom. He has a gray cloak, the beard, he has that staff. So he's learned a lot through a dark night of the soul or through going through some soul searching. I do feel it would be a really good time for you to do some soul searching here. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Again, close relationships have been pretty much positive for everyone this week. Wheel of Fortune could represent a turnaround or being lucky or having a lot of fortunes. So if you need help with anything, I feel like getting together with in your closest relationships could be very beneficial with the Wheel of Fortune. People who matter to you, people you care about. I also just feel like there could be a lot of luck coming in for you in general with this card. So I really like to see that for you, Sag. Next, you have the Ace of Swords and your future feelings. I feel like you're feeling victorious in the future. I feel like you're feeling like you're winning. I feel like you are feeling like you can overcome any obstacle. You can see that these mountains here, that the sword is above the mountains. It represents the fact that you can pretty much overcome anything. There will always be challenges in life, but the Ace of Swords says you will easily be able to rise above them because the sword is above the mountains. You can also see that there are these 6 golden yods right here, these golden little leaf things, and it kind of represents the fact that there is perfect balance coming in for you, or there's more balance coming in for you. Those 6 yods, they represent perfect balance on this card. So I do feel like kind of the energies or your life is balancing out. At the end here, you end with the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups can represent regrets and sadness, but we all know that. But the Five of Cups, you can see that there are these 2 cups behind him. He just needs to turn around and see those 2 cups because they'll lead to the bridge in this castle. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I do feel that the energy, I feel like this week in particular is a major week this week, this year, all of 2022, especially with all those planets lining up. North Node is, I know it's not a planet, but North Node, Uranus, and Mars. To me, I feel like there could be a lot going on this week, and I feel like it's a major transition week, and there could be, pretty much for every single person, it's come up that there could be a moment where something we once enjoyed leaves our life, or maybe we just don't enjoy it anymore. The whole point of the Five of Cups is he's crying over the loss of the wine that was in these cups because he has lost his taste for wine. He no longer enjoys it. And so now he's sad because he once enjoyed it and he doesn't any longer. So, I feel it's like one of those things where you could be crying over spilt milk with the Five of Cups when there could be something much better behind him here in these cups. So I feel for a lot of you that, number one, the solution of the Five of Cups is gratitude, being grateful for those 2 cups. Once he's grateful for the 2 cups, he sees the bridge and the castle. So again, he gets something much better than just 3 cups. There's probably millions of cups inside of the freaking castle, right? So I feel like being grateful is a great practice with that Five of Cups. But let's clarify this and let's see what we get for you here, Sagittarius. With the Knight of Swords and the Hierophant, you have the Chariot. Definitely a victory coming in for you, or victories coming in for you. What's popping into my head is I feel like you need to bathe in the energy of victories, right? And so there's a book, I think it's called Make Your Bed, and it's by like a Navy SEAL. And in that book, he talks about how really the reason the Navy SEALs, they focus on making their bed in the morning is because it's that small win. They're starting off their day winning, right? And I kind of get that energy for you here with the Chariot twice, the Ace of Swords as well. I do this in my own life. I try to win as many times as I possibly can. Small wins, like cleaning, doing dishes when I don't want to do them, and all this other stuff, because it's like I'm creating the snowball of wins. When you do that, you have other wins in your life. And again, a few years ago when my channel was stuck, it's like people always ask me, what did you do? And it's like that's one of the main things I started doing in my personal life, is I started just creating as many wins, even if they were teeny tiny little wins. I started creating them and I started celebrating them as well. That's another thing that I would do, is I would celebrate those wins. But it might sound ridiculous, but I'm living proof that it works, and it's free, as I always like to tell people. It doesn't cost any money, right? With the Eight of Cups, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is pretty good. It is a card of your environment. And again, with the Magician, the Chariot twice, which is as above, so below, I would be making sure to create as positive of an environment as I possibly could. One of my wins is that I literally set my office up. I had to reset it up since I moved here. And one thing I do is I literally come over here, I hit this button right here, turns everything on, and I can just start recording, right? Major win, because it's like I don't have to turn on 3 cameras, I don't have to turn on all the lights, I don't have to do anything, basically, right? I can just sit down and get started. Major win. So that is how you create wins in your environment with the Nine of Pentacles. There's a book all about this, that James Clear book, The Power Habit or something like that. Or that's not it, right? What is it? I don't know. Somebody will know what I'm talking about, but it's by James Clear, and he talks all about kind of like setting yourself up for success, like putting things in certain places in your house so that it just creates the win. Nine of Pentacles is all about your environment, and it's a really good card of success, obviously, and abundance. With the Magician, you have the King of Swords. A lot of people getting the King of Swords right now. King of Swords is a card of wisdom. I feel like there's a lot of wisdom that's kind of like bubbling up right now. I also feel with the Hierophant that a lot of traditional wisdom is being challenged at this time, where it's like there are certain things that we've always believed just because we've always believed them, but it's like, is it true? Do we need to believe certain things any longer? And some things, yes, some things, no. It's this to me is the whole reason why we're going through Neptune and Pisces. Thank God. Next time Neptune is in Pisces, we'll all be dead, right? Unless Zuckerberg, that nerd Zuckerberg, turns us into robots or something like that, we'll all be dead, right? And Neptune and Pisces is all about like, why do you believe this? Anything that you're doing, right? It's like maybe you believe that you have to put your left shoe on before you put your right shoe on. Maybe all of a sudden you start putting your right shoe on, changes your life. I don't know. You never know with Neptune and Pisces. It could be that simple. With the Five of Wands, you have the Two of Cups. I feel like some of you are conflicted about love. Everybody seems to be conflicted about love. To me, this fits in extremely well with the astrology, just in general. It's like, not to get crazy on you here, conspiracy theorist on you here, but it's like you look at the news, like birth rates are falling, all this other stuff. Is it a bad thing? I would say no. I actually think these things are going to go back up, of course. But, what I would say is that I think it's just kind of talking about there are a lot of changes that I think are happening in relationships, and I also feel like there's a lot of uncertainty in the world. So it's like people aren't sure if they want to have relationships, if they want to spend money on a relationship, all that other stuff. And again, these kind of like blender situations where we feel like we're in a blender, where we feel like we're getting tossed around. This happens so that we can come back to balance. Ace of Swords. So if you feel that way about relationships, you'll make up your mind soon enough about whether you want one or not. Not a big deal. By the way, other than that, the Two of Cups, these two people are meant to look very different on the Two of Cups. And so, and this represents you and your higher self as well. Sorry, I don't know why it's not focusing there. It just doesn't want to focus. We'll bring it over here. So these two people are meant to look very different. And what I would say is that if you feel like you are being pulled towards something different, like a different job, a different career, you might be feeling conflicted about that with that Five of Wands. But again, there could be treasure in doing something different. With the Hermit, you have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is about taking a risk. It can represent separation, sadness. Some of you could all be doing that, but again, I don't know. There are plenty of readers on YouTube that'll tell you all about your crappy relationship that you were in the past, right? I don't do that. And what I would say here is that the Five of Swords, to me, it's a card of winning at all cost, and really, it's a card of taking a risk. So I would definitely say taking a risk could be beneficial at this time. Not like a crazy risk that's going to put you in danger, but like a risk of, changing your job, the risk of starting a new business, something like that, the risk of getting into a new relationship. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Ace of Pentacles, tons of opportunity right now. Again, I think people need to realize, I always like to think the opposite with the universe. It's I think everybody might be thinking right now, recession, everything going on in the world and the government and all this other stuff. But I like to think the opposite. It's okay, everybody's going this way. It's what's over here? Well, over here is lack, not having enough money and all this other stuff. Over here could be opportunity and success and potential. It's when you start thinking the opposite, then you start actually attracting the opposite. You start attracting things oh, there's a lot of opportunity here. There could be some big, opportunity to create more abundance for more people. It's how can I do that? And I feel you need to pay attention to that with the Ace of Pentacles. There is clearly, you have these two aces right on top of each other, right here. So two aces is a yes to any question that I haven't answered. But not only that, the Ace of Pentacles is something that you take care of, that you nurture. It's also something long-term as well. So for a lot of you, there could be a long-term opportunity. It could be love, but for the most part, I feel it's financially related, and it could be coming in from a person you know. So if someone offers you a job, it could be a good job. It could be someone who has a business idea that they want to share with you. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Page of Pentacles. You're the second or third sign that has had the Page of Pentacles in that exact position, your future feelings. And the Page of Pentacles is about fresh, new energy, feeling really good, feeling motivated, feeling enthusiastic, willing to learn as well. So there's clearly a new thing that you're learning about. That sounded stupid. And finally, with the Five of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Swords. It is in reverse. So, with that Five of Cups, you have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is about something being dead, done, over with, and kind of entering into a new world. Can we just see, I just want to get a final countdown, a final outcome here, Sagittarius. What is the final outcome for Sag? Ten of Pentacles, are you kidding? Success, everything you want in your life. Ten of Pentacles is basically everything you want in your life. It is the tree of life, and it's total abundance. You have the King of Wands, feeling you're in a position of power and strength. So, just feeling powerful. And you have the Queen of Swords. It could be an air sign coming in for you, but it could also just be clarity. You can see that the clouds are below her head. She finally sees things clearly for the first time. So I feel after some sort of difficult ending that you've already been through, there could be a lot of clarity. This is pretty powerful reading, a lot of good stuff coming in for you. And again, with that uncertainty card, having the Queen of Swords is certainty, knowing what you need to do. But pretty good reading. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.